Have you ever had those thoughts, late at night, under the covers when no one is watching? Those panicky kind of thoughts, when you're all alone and you realise that you are going to die. You have, haven't you? This is called religion. And this tale of uplift and moral improvement is about a little boy who was very religious indeed. A good thing, perhaps, but not always. Our story begins in the parish of St. Thomas. The Reverend Jocelyn Wesley was a vicar, a man of God. However, there is a flaw in the breast of even the most pious man. You see, Reverend Jocelyn was a liberal vicar.
I like to think of the church as a kind of club. We're here for everybody. Man, woman, white and foreign. Let's all just join hands and love each other. 'Cause that's what God's all about. Hymn number 48. He's got the whole world in his hands.
Indeed. Now, the congregation at St. Thomas's was small but faithful, and they doted on Father Jocelyn. Most especially Miss Stickle, a spinster. Not that that ought to surprise you.
He's got the whole world in his hands.
There was the verger, Cadbury. Good old Cadbury. But not the brightest, though not fully dysfunctional, but usefully strong. Nothing was too much trouble for him. Repairing, gardening, he loved it all. And finally, the protagonist of our little tale, the Reverend Jocelyn's son, Malachi.
Forgive these feeble souls.
Who had already formed his own view of God's teaching. Yes, young Malachi was a devotee of the Old Testament, the testament that promised eternal damnation for those that strayed from the fundamental path. You see, God had been talking to Malachi, and God gave Malachi a mission.
He's got the whole world in his hands. He's got the whole world. Hello, Malachi. We're arranging flowers and singing.
Pretty flower.
How dare you defile God's holy ground with this filth? On your knees! On your knees, mindless one! Man-child! Do you believe, sinner? Do you believe?
Yes, Malachi, I believe.
Nobody was free from Malachi's reign of terror, especially mild, sensible, single Miss Stickle, who was upset by Malachi displaying his naked passion.
Don't cry, Miss Stickle.
Perhaps there's some psychological problem, or maybe a practical joke. Listen, I hope you can understand and forgive. Malachi is just a boy.
Boys will be boys, Father Jocelyn. They can be naughty.
We shall pray for him.
What? Oh, yes. Pray.
However, little did Reverend Jocelyn know the extent of his son's religious mania, for that night, when normal little boys were dreaming of guns and gold, Malachi's mind was engaged in discussion with the Almighty himself. Yes, Malachi had a vision. In his warped, fevered mind, he saw heaven and throngs of angels. They were watching the boy and his new work, and it seemed they were pleased. Soon, very soon, they assured Malachi he would ascend to heaven and sit at his right hand, favored amongst the angels.
Soon. Very soon.
And the boy was gone, heaven knows where. The next morning, Jocelyn and Cadbury and Miss Stickle looked high and low, but to no avail. At last, after 2 days, Reverend Jocelyn was talked into holding a service for Malachi's well-being, which reminds me of my first husband, the Reverend Ffine Carmody. The only time I ever deciphered his brandy-soaked ramblings at the pulpit was after he won 75 guineas at the 2:15 at Haydock Park. Oh, the language. Oh, the language.
And we ask God for the gift of tolerance. Look after my son, who has become emotionally unbalanced.
Enough! This is God's house! Away with these baubles! Back, foolish inbred! For my faith gives me the strength of 10.
Malachi began to destroy. He was possessed, filled with a murderous rage. Destroy this lax and liberal Christianity. Smash the graven image. Tear down the poster for the false coffee morning. Burn the witch.
Leave! Leave now! Out of God's house.
What to do? What to do? Malachi would not leave the church and refused entry to all. Only gentle Cadbury would creep back at night to keep vigil over the boy's unquiet soul.
I pray for him every night, Father Jocelyn, to God.
No, Cadbury. What God would do this to a boy? Perhaps God is just something invented by men to comfort them in the dark void. Perhaps there really is nothing. Nothing at all.
Father Jocelyn, pray.
No! I would pray, but I don't think anyone listens.
Join me, and you too will be saved. God is here, in me. Join me or suffer the burning pit of hell.
Days passed, and Malachi remained in the church. Cadbury and Miss Stickle could only watch as Reverend Jocelyn took to his bed, racked with doubt and torment. He was losing his faith.
Come out, Father Jocelyn. We're so lost without you.
So what? We're all lost. We're all alone in the dark.
And all the seas will run red with the blood of the sinner, and the air ring with the screams of the damned.
I'm frightened.
I think Malachi is ill. Perhaps we should do something.
It's just a boy. I couldn't hurt him.
Cadbury, if you saw a child, a mere baby now, but in the future you knew he would grow up to become Hitler, wouldn't you think you had to do something?
What is it? What? Show yourselves!
Malachi, your father is unwell.
That foolish idol won't save you from the pit, sinners.
Malachi, do you remember when you were a little boy? You would play on Cadbury's knee, and we would all sing hymns together. God is about love, Malachi. The love we have here in this church. The love we've always had.
We love you, Malachi. Come back to us, please.
Oh, I'm sorry. Dear Miss Stickle, Cadbury, I love you too. I've had such headaches. Save your servant.
Oh, Malachi.
Stop this nonsense! Stop it now! Malachi, you are a very naughty boy. And I've had enough of you as well, you sheep! Yes, that's what you are. Just superstitious sheep. Don't you see? No God controls your destiny. You do it yourselves. Enough of these tricks and superstitions!
Father Jocelyn!
By mocking the true believer, you have offended God, sinner, and he will strike you down for that blasphemy.
Will he really? Well, come on then! Come on!
Satan, you have offended God, and you must pay!
Malachi, you're ill. Nothing's going to...
Do you feel his wrath inside your body, sinner? Do you feel it?
It's just a minor heart murmur. It's the stress.
A miracle!
Believe in me. Believe, that is what you must do. Yes. Yes, I truly am the Son of God. Do you believe or...
Yes, Malachi. We believe.
Louder! Do you believe?
believe. They did indeed, and most willing believers they were too. In total fear of the power of the young boy, they carried Father Jocelyn to his bed. Then they rushed back to the church, where they listened to the words of their new prophet for 3 days, without a break. No, without a break.
Are you saved, sinners? Are you saved?
Yes, Malachi, we are saved.
Lord, my work is done. I brought these 2 sinners back into your holy bosom. Will you release me? Thank you. I fought with demons. I'm so tired. Now, my brethren, one final test of your faith awaits you. Are you worthy? I said, are you worthy?
We are worthy. Yes, tell us, Malachi.
And what of Father Jocelyn whilst all this was going on? He had lain in his bed, racked with fever, until...
No, God! I don't believe! I don't!
Let nothing stop you. What you do now is your salvation. Help!
Malachi!
No! Listen! I've changed my mind! No! It hurts! No! No! Father! Help!
We
Please!
must help you, Malachi. You must ascend to God's right hand.
No! Please!
I think it hurts.
Sure he is, Cadbury. The devil tempts us.
Help! Father! Father! Hurts!
Look, Father Jocelyn, look what we've done.
Poor old Malachi Wesley. You see, although religion is important, one should take everything in moderation. Don't go mad. Good night, children.